It is. So let's just jump into it. What are we getting into today? This is Mono Black Braids. This is a list I recently saw on a deck drop. Speaking of deck drops, the Buckeye Brawl and the Duress Crew Regional results were both posted at MTG Top 8 this morning. So that's 2 3-star, like the Buckeye Brawl was like 100 players. The Duress Crew Regional was like 130 players. So if you're looking for some sick deck drops, I would go check those out as soon as you're done with this video. If you're watching this on Fluorescent Fungus, like, comment, subscribe, favorite the video, bookmark, all that shit. But what are we getting up to? We're getting up to Braids. This is a card that I actually haven't cast in Premodern yet. And what it does is it's a 4-mana human minion 2/2. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player sacrifices an artifact, creature, or land of their choice. The correct way to build this deck, according to the internet, is to play a Ponza deck. So we've got Rancid Earth. It destroys a land 9 times out of 10, but if there's Threshold, it destroys a land, and it, what's the name of that red 1-drop that deals with damage to everything? Whatever that is, End Hostilities, is that the name of the card? It kind of wipes all the 1/1s off the board, so maybe it has some extra value versus like Decree of Justice. Rain of Tears is the worst one. It's just a Ponza piece. It's like a stone rain that costs black. And then there's Icequake, which also just destroys target land. It has extra text, but it won't matter. We've got a bunch of 1-of removal spells. This is not my list. So this is a card for card rip off the internet. We've got Diabolic Edict as a 1-of, Smother as a 1-of. We have, let's see here, Snuff Out and Contagion and Spinning Darkness as well, all 1-ofs. Then we've got the Graveborn Muse, a Visara, Dark Ritual. That's kind of the big reason to play this deck, is Dark Rit into a 3-drop is going to be pretty good 9 times out of 10. Duress, our mana base is also full of Ponza pieces, Wastelands, Rishadan Ports. This deck is probably going to have a Sly problem, and I think the architect of the deck identified that super quickly and said, let me pop some Rejuvenation Chambers in my main board. I don't know if this is actually saving you from Sly or not, but we're going to try it. And then the sideboard has some cool ones. Caltrops, another card I haven't played in Premodern. Whenever a creature attacks, this artifact deals a damage to it. Really cool prison piece, something I'm really interested in trying out. A Powder Keg, a Singleton Black Vise. I guess we just bring that in when like we're on the play against a deck that wants to be reactive. Ihsan Shade, doesn't get Swords to Plowshare. And then we've got the trifecta of sick, dark, ritualable enchantments and Engineer Play, Gloom, Dystopia. This is the deck. I'm certain I'm going to mess it up, but we're going to try it out anyway. I'm pretty interested to see how it plays. Let's hop into a league. All right, we found our first opponent, Molar, and we are on the draw. I guess if we're like a Dark Ritual deck that has Duress, we're kind of fine being on the draw. This hand contains a curve of Duress into Skirge into Icequake with a Contagion. I think we're signing up for these. Keep. Let's take that stop off of their upkeep. Previously, I was playing a deck that contained Fire Ice. So, all right, it's an island. Let's see if this Duress is any good. We draw a swamp. We play the swamp. Duress, you don't daze this, bro. And saying how this format is growing less and less niche every day, very true. All right, you can opt. So is this like opt into daze? That's not great for us if that's what they do, but it's like fine. I think this is Dreadnought. Ooh, no, this is Sultai Tog. Excuse you? Well, we'll take out a Pernicious Deed, I guess. I'm not going to take an AK and like make their next AK better immediately. Pass to turn. Delta, let's actually track known info. All right, Migo. We're going to get a Swamp going, followed by a Skittering Skirge. Go. I'll probably just fetch AK Psychotog here. Then I think it's my job to Icequake them off of a color. Hopefully they don't find, I don't know, Gush. Ooh, they're going to AK in their main phase. Interesting. So they don't want a Psychotog this turn. They fetch. Are they going to Duress? That would be bad for my Icequake. Let's move this down here. Yep, they're going to Duress. That's tough. We're down to Tog is the only known card. Let's go. I don't understand this, our opponent's deck. A deck with Deed and Tog in it seems like, ooh, Thoughtseize Bug. Swamp. 1, 2, 3. Icequake. Swamp. Combat for 3. And ship that turn. Blue for a Portent for sure, dude. It likely also has Dryad. Dryad, Psychotog, Pernicious Deed is not a combination I think would be very good. But what do I know? Okay, locking them out of black actually worked there. We go to my turn. We take a draw after they Portent. Why is this stack always appearing over there? Let me just look at my known information in piece. Here's a Rishadan Port. That's pretty cool. Now I've got a reason to stop them in their upkeep again. Combat. Beat. Take it to 12. Your turn. AK number 3. Nope, just an opt. All right, let's shrink down this known info. There we go. That looks better. You've opted again. Yeah, it seems kind of bad. Feels like you can't commit to the Tog on the board. I think the idea, right, if there was one, is to crack the P deed on a number smaller than 3. But in Premodern, I just don't think you always have that level of agency. Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. It's a weird setup to me. This should be a Psychotog. Oh, just a Duress. Our opponent's playing a little bit too cautiously. I think they should know all but one card in their hand at this point. Tap for a blue, Portent for sure. I'm testing a list that has 1 Deed main deck. That's pretty sick. I actually wouldn't mind drawing a Braids here. You draw off Portents. You have 4 unknowns in hand. There's a Graveborn Muse. I think that is better than our Scourge. We're probably just going to cast that. No, I think that's actually wrong. They might not have a black source. I might just port their black source. Try to keep them off of Psychotog for a little while longer. Beep boop. All right, draw step. Of course, they'll just slam Polluted Delta and slam the Tog, but... Ooh, City of Brass. Okay, so that's going to cost them a life. Works for me. Are they going to Swords my Skittering Skirge? That would work out pretty well. That would make it way easier to cast this Graveborn Muse, for sure. I think if you click on opponent's icon with cards in hand known, they will appear like cards on your hand. Oh, really? I think if you click on the opponent's icon with the cards in hand, known cards appear like cards on your hand. Yeah, that does not work. I guess we can just shrink it down to here. Can we drag it up? Can I just like fake it? Not really. No, we'll put it back down there. All right, you've got a Wonder. That's fine. So now I think that City of Brass that they just played could be pretty interesting for me. Let us attack through their Wonder. They'll block just to give Psychotog flying. But I'm going to have to sack the Skittering Skirge anyway when I go to cast the Graveborn Muse. So land, 1, 2, 3, 4, Graveborn, and you may go. Oh, like this. Oh, I clicked it, but I can't see the Tog in there. I can remember a Tog. Okay, Rishadan Port, the City of Brass. You lose a life, continue. Now their Wonder's active, and we're not that far from dead if they have a Gush. Tog comes into play. Does this portent me? They're portenting themselves. I'd actually portent me here, just to make sure I don't draw like a removal spell for the Tog, because that surely just kills them. All right, you draw off Portent. I draw off Graveborn Muse. Braids, interesting. Let's go Swamp. Let's actually cycle this Baron Moor really quick. Just another Swamp. I think I'd like to Braids. Let's see, they have a grand total of 7.5, 8.5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.5 damage. If they have a Gush, that's 13.5 plus 6.5, which is 20. So we have to hope they don't have Gush, which is a really tall order, but we're going to jam Braids. It might even be serviceable to attack with the Graveborn Muse, if for no other reason than to get them to use a little bit of gas, right? Also, they'll block the Graveborn Muse, so I won't go to 18. So let's pretend they for sure have Gush. That's going to give them 4 cards in hand minus the Gush, 15 in the graveyard. So 1 plus 7.5 is 8.5, 9, 10, 11.5, 12, 13, plus Gush, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 19.5. But if they had to exile 2 cards from their graveyard, 4 cards from the graveyard to pump the Tog, that's only 17.5. Yeah, we attack with Graveborn Muse. We just force them to use the extra equity for the Psychotog. Combat damage. Yeah, the Braid Sack will take that half and make it into a full, like a full point of damage because it'll be an extra card in the bin. So we can count their graveyard as being +1 card because of the Braid Sack for sure. All right, we take the pump fake there, pass to them. We're gonna tap the City of Brass in their upkeep. Actually, I'll let the Braids trigger resolve. No. I won't. I actually want them to lose a life from City of Brass, and that's certainly what they sack. Yep, they sack the city. They go up to 12 cards in hand. Now it's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and a half, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 8. Yeah, they're just short to kill. So if we draw like removal spell, Skittering Skirge, any way to like, okay, they just attack for 1. Makes sense. Braids is going to trigger, and I will sacrifice a swamp. Rancid Earth. Interesting. I suppose we Rancid Earth an island. Does Rancid Earth Island kill me? I can no longer actually beat Gush. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to play as if they don't have it, and I'm just going to cast this Rancid Earth. If they Gush here, we can just concede. All right, they didn't Gush. We'll go to combat, attack for 2, and then we ship the turn, and we'll let them sack off the Braids first. Then we'll port the island, and we'll see if we die. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Not quite lethal without Gush, but they have the extra island, so Gush is on the menu. Phenomenal. Subscribe to Prime. Thank you for the Prime sub, buddy. Appreciate that. Gush mean we can move on to game 2? Looks like they're just pumping. You should like always Gush first, but I guess here they might still know we have a swamp in hand, so it might not matter. Ooh, Pillspike, thank you for the Prime sub as well. Welcome. All right, so they're just doing a big attack. Using those resources really didn't do a whole lot. We're going to sacrifice a swamp. Rancid Earth off the top. Another swamp. So now we're like certainly dead, I think. Like we get in because there's a Wonder in the graveyard anyway. But I think we're on the outside looking in. Little fancy. Braids in Premodern. Your titles provide information, but still feel like clickbait. Of course, one has to check in when reading something like this. No, there's a Braids in play. We're doing it. Damage. Let us see. Can they just deal 11 right now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and a half. They actually can't go. Wait, 10 and a half, 11, because they're going to sacrifice a land. I think they can deal exact damage here. We will tap here and F6. Yeah, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. and 11 with the extra card in graveyard plus the last card pitched. This is exact lethal. They'll just have to use every single resource in their graveyard in hand. We're going to let it happen though, because it's cool. Just got here, but it's this deck. Braids Ponza. Paladin got me. Thanks, Paladin. 7, 8, 9, and then 10, 11 out of the graveyard. 1. All right, they got it. They counted to exactly 11. That's tough, but I think we might have some action. I think on the play, Black Vise is right up our alley. None of these cards make any sense at all. Maybe a Powder Keg and call it good. What's bad? Contagion, Spinning Darkness. I don't know. These two for those two. Let's Rejuvenation Chamber is also like not great. Can we just like bring in an Ihsan Shade? Then what? Is there anything else we can like randomly just bring in? Do we have to keep a Rejuvenation Chamber in our deck? I think we kind of have. The Snuff Out's also bad. It's like, I guess we're keeping both Rejuvenation Chambers. Ship the Snuff Out. Let's go. Wait, no, damn it. I sideboarded in one more card than I needed to. Dirty Joe Kearney. So jealous about the Buckeye Brawl stamps. They're sick. I'll be on the play. Our hand contains Rancid Earth, Powder Keg, Port. I think maybe we keep this. Chat, what do we think? It's like Powder Keg's fine. It does definitely get eaten up by Pernicious Deed. The Rishadan Port could be okay. If we get Visara into play, it's like fine. Or should I be greedy and go for something with like a Dark Writ? There's nothing I really want a Dark Writ into play on turn 1 on the play. He's playing Soul Titog, yeah. This hand seems safe enough, we think. Keep it. All right, bet. Keep. Let's do it. Alrighty, Swamp go. Delta fetch Swamp Duress. Nothing. Well, they're holding up their Delta. I'm not expecting them to fetch immediately, so I'll just go Powdered Keg. I'll get that thing up to 3 and try to halt them from getting a Pernicious Deed into play. All right, they played a non-fetch, so now our Rishadan Port's good. We'll always yield to this trigger, and in this case, I'll say yes. There's a Braids. I think I want to get them to use a counterspell now, so rather than using the port, I think I'll just cast my spell. Rancid Earth Island. You can counter that. I'll pass to you. Try to get Braids into play next turn. Oh, just an AK. Okay, that works. You got a Gush? Nope, it just blows it up. Great. There's a Gemstone Mine. Green, blue. Quarian Dryad. Compost. All right, let's tick this Powder Keg up. Draw Rain of Tears. We will go Swamp Braids and then pass. Compost is a hell of a card against me. Sack something. Island, sure. Quarian Dryad, for sure. Instead of popping this on 3 for Tog, I think it just makes sense to pop the Keg now. My turn, I'll sack a Swamp, because I'm going to make it really hard for them to even cast the Tog. No reason to Duress here. They're just going to draw a card off Compost. I'm going to try to choke their mana for as long as I can. Damage. I'll have an action for you in your upkeep after you've sacrificed to the Braids. All right, then we'll port the Island, and you may go. Another Island for sure. Braids does Braids. I'll sacrifice. I wonder if I'm supposed to sacrifice Braids now. Nah, Swamp. We ride Braids till the day we die. Combat. Attack for 2. This Compost is actually a menace for us, though. Pass to you. I mean, the Compost isn't going anywhere. Braids doesn't make you sacrifice enchantment, right? So that's just not going anywhere. We can't deal with the Compost. It's just going to be in play for the game. It's a real good card against us. All right, they got nothing to do, so now we're just going to like try to get them to 0 lands. All right, no response to the Braids. Sacrifice Swamp. Best top deck, Skittering Skirge. Swamp's a good follow-up, though. Combat, attack for 2. Braids, sacrifices, artifact, creature, or land of their choice. No reason to Rain of Tears. That land's going to handle itself past the turn. They should sack the Compost before their lands. I mean, so Compost is an enchantment, and Braids says at the beginning of each player's upkeep, they sacrifice an artifact, creature, or land. They're never going to have to sacrifice the Compost, right? All right, they've just got 7 in hand. They're passing. So now we just hope to draw lands for the foreseeable future. Sack the Swamp. Dark Ritual. That kind of almost helps us. We can't really cast Visara, unfortunately. I think now if they don't play anything, we sack the Braids. Because, well, let's actually think about that. Like, they have to discard, that's fine. Right now, this Braids, if I don't ever draw a land again, it deals 6 damage and brings them to 5. So I actually think I ride this Braids. Because what else am I doing? Like, casting nothing in my hand? No, I'm going to sack the Swamp. Every land I draw is an extra 2 damage. I think we came here to play Braids, so we're playing Braids. Down to 9, 6 more damage. If I draw 2 more lands in the next 4 cards, we're good. There's an island. They tap it for blue. Portent themselves, sure. Yeah, we're very far ahead. But once we fall behind, like, we're infinitely behind, right? End step, my turn. I want to sacrifice a Rishadan Port this time. Drawing another Braids is not good. Combat attack for 2. Black Vise would be my best top deck here by a million miles. Braids makes you sack your island. Braids is good for 4 more damage. There's a land on top. We're in great shape. Delta for sure. Attackers, end step. Let's port the Delta, make them fetch now. Puts them in an even life total, which is better for Braids. They just let it happen. All right, next turn, untap. No response to Braids. I'm going to sack the port. Land off the top, please. Please. No luck, we still ball. Attack for 2. Actually, at this point, I think I'm okay with them drawing a card. Let's go Dark Ritual into Phyrexian Arena. You may draw a card. Phyrexian Arena, go. And now they should just sack their Delta instead of fetching. I don't even know why they played it, to be honest. Our Arena will give us more chances to draw lands to keep feeding the Braids. And step. All right, let's go lands. They have to discard 2 cards, which is dope. Psychotog and Q-Dryad for sure. I want the Braids to trigger second. So we'll put it on the stack first. Draw a card off the Arena. No land. Sacrifice to the Braids. It's going to be the swamp. Damn, we miss on land. All right, the Braids is on the way out now. But we've got an Arena in place. So now we can start to like try to play lands and try to squeeze out the last 3 points of damage. I think what we did didn't pan out, but I think what we did was correct. I think. All right, they play out their island. They wrote out the Braids. Let's stack these triggers like this. If this is a land, I'm going to be so heartbroken. Okay, good. No land. No response. I'll sack the Braids. You draw a card off your compost. Land off the top, please. Robbed. Go ahead. Pitch Rejuvenation Chamber because that doesn't draw them a card. Gemstone Mine. Tap for 2. Q-Dryad. You got it. Tough beats. Big time, dude. Take 2 draws. There's a land. Play a land. Tap this. You're going to draw a card, but let's see if I can nab the best card out of your hand. We got Smother, Counterspell, Portent, a bunch of just bullshit. They don't have 2 islands, so I'm not concerned with the Gush. The Pernicious Deed is more effective on them than it is on us. We're just going to take the Counterspell. You draw a card, and then we ship the turn. Rancid Earth would deal 1 to them. All right, they lost a life. That's really good. Toggy Tog. Land Smother would work out just fine. All right, I'll lose a life, draw a card. Land Icequake. Outside looking in, we start the league at 0-1. Got by, I think, a no shade to opponent. I don't think that's a good way to build your Tog deck. It looks like they're trying to do Grow a Tog minus the good cards, adding like Pernicious Deed, which like is a strict nombo with the rest of their deck. But it was good enough against our Braids deck. Let's hop in around 2. All right, let's take a look at this opener. We've got... It's the Ponza hand. If Ponza's good in this matchup, then this hand's fine. Darkrit, Rain of Tears. They're mulliganing. We're keeping them. Yo, big fan. Thank you. Kinda don't hate being on the draw with a hand like this. Our opponent's likely just gonna like play a land and not a Mox Diamond, I hope. Knock on wood. And this is gonna be good. All right, yeah, they just play land, pass. That's pretty good for us. A second Darkrit, that's interesting. Let's go Dark Ritual. Rain of Tears, blow that up. You may go. Yeah, line is why I'm testing with Brian because we were both thinking GAT for LobsterCon, just need to find a 75, that's the best. That's fair. I'm kind of a big fan of the Growless Grow decks. I just 10-0, 5-0 trophied with one. I got to do that Twitter post later today. Miri's Guile. So this is Enchantress. So I wonder if it's another Darkrit Rain of Tears. No. I think yes. I don't want them to Argothian here. Rain of Tears, go. Keeping them off green is good. Yeah, I agree. The problem is the Miri's Guile. It's going to keep them locked for a shorter amount of time because they'll be able to like draw up into their lands a little bit quicker, which not great for us. Brush land. Let's draw a Wasteland if we're going to draw a land then. Come on, deck. I don't need another Dark Ritual. All right, land go. I guess Braids can be pretty good in this matchup if I can keep them off of white. It's like a way to deal with Argothian, which I'm sure they're casting here. Green source Argothian, I top deck Diabolic Edict, my one of. Rancid Earth. Man, if I was only thresholded, it would beat up the Enchantress, but I can't do that. Rancid Earth, I guess we're just gonna hit the basic forest. That way, if they draw Wild Growth, I have the out of Wastelanding, the Brushland, and then taking them off of extra mana. We're still in a spot where if you draw Braids, it's not too bad. But this Guile, I think, is secretly running the train on us right now. That list you shared was sick. Plug patron perks. Are we talking about the Tog list that I 10-0'd with? Penta 5-0? Yeah, that list was sick. All right, there's the Wild Growth we were talking about. And now Wasteland's live, which is nice. No presence. Oh, God. I'm going to give it one more top deck, but I think it's lights out after this. Rancid Earth. There's 5 cards in my bin. I still can't quite get to... We're going to keep balling. Rancid Earth, the Sarah Sanctum. Go. Guile is so good and so underrated. I don't think it's underrated. It's a stock 4 of Enchantress. Is Hymn of Torok banned in this format? Thankfully, yes. Although secretly, I kind of wish it wasn't because I want to be a degenerate, but I don't think it would be like healthy. Yeah, their Mirror's Guile, just ensuring that they continue to draw into gas. Another presence, we'll call that. Enchantress doing eye roll, the Enchantress thing. Black Vise, I think so. E-Plague is good, but I think we need to look at Dystopia first and like Ihsan Shade potentially. Gloom. How good is Gloom? Chat, how good do we think Gloom is? I know that it like makes their white spells cost more, but this deck is primarily a green deck. The white spells are like their big payoffs, replenish Opalescence and stuff. And by the time they're ready to cast those, they've got like so much mana. I think Gloom secretly sucks in the Enchantress matchup. Keg could be okay, but I don't think so. I think we can like very good also tax activation. What are we taxing the activation of? Just Parallax Wave, right? Helps with Tide and Seal activation. Right, but what I'm getting at is by the time they're able to play their win cons, I guess we're a Ponza deck. That's interesting. I don't generically care for Gloom versus Enchantress. It seems like a good idea until you realize they spend the first 4 turns casting green spells that make mana and playing their Sarah Sanctum. Then by the time they're ready to cast their win cons, they make fucking 43 mana. That's the hang up I have with Gloom in this matchup. Like, I could turn 1 Gloom and my opponent with not that good of a hand can ignore it. I think I like Dystopia, Shade, Black Vise, and E-Plague. Like, not even 4 E-Plague, like 3 E-Plague. I can take out all my targeted removal, my Visara, my Snuff Out, my Smother. I think I can keep Diabolic Edict, though. Get out of here. Minus. I hate it when the card just sticks there and looks annoying. Rancid Earth is Rejuvenation Chamber can go. I like all my Ponza pieces. I think I'll remove the Skirge. Let's dance. I haven't played a game of Paper Magic in 20 years. After finding your YouTube Premodern content, I've sleeved up Slime. We'll be trying to find some folks to play with in my LGS soon. You and the folks you make videos with are so fun to watch. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate that, Sea King. All right, we'll take the play. And this hand contains Duress, 2 Dystopias, and a Graveborn Muse, so we're keeping that, right? All right, Swamp, Duress, you. What type of candy do you have for me? We've got an Anchor. I can beat up the land you growth. So I think we're just going to yoink your Anchor. And maybe it was supposed to be Sterling Grove. Kind of hard to tell. And then we can just pass the turn. 61 cards, you madman. Yeah, I just realized actually that the deck that I ripped this from, it was just a 61 card main deck, which is like fine. We'll ride with that. All right, there goes the Woody Footy. I imagine to get basic forest to wild growth. I'll take a turn to get the Mishra's factory in and plan to blow up the land with wild growth on it. Icequake's pretty cool. Actually, it's probably just Dystopia, right? Land go. You may take your turn. Dark Red off the top would have been insane there for sure. Windswept Heath, fetch. Did you top deck the Enchantress's Presence, brother? Is it like that for you? Because it's not like that for me. No, just a Sterling Grove. Are we going to pop it? They're popping it. Go get Enchantress's Presence. Okay, this Dystopia is going to be very good. We now know about 2 of 4 cards in their hand, plus we'll know the top card. There's an Opal. That's not going to matter. We really want to draw our 4th land as well. It's going to be expensive. We're going to have to keep paying for Dystopia for a little while and losing life to Graveborn Muse. But once we ravage their resources to sheer nothingness, we can just like get there off the back of any creature. Stone Rain Fist or just jamming Dystopia? It depends. I think, okay, we drew Rancid Earth as well. Because of that, I think I'm not going to show them. Would they get off that? Enchantress's Presence, yep. I'm just not going to show them the Dystopia yet. I'm going to Icequake the forest with the wild growth on it and just pass. They've got another Windswept Heath in hand. We'll let them do that whole thing. Ooh, so they show me a brushland. All right, pass to me. Now, instead of Dystopiaing, we're going to ravage their mana base. Play why are they holding the Heath? They had 2 Heath, right? All right, there's a Swamp. I think now we'll make them have swords. They've only got 1 unknown. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, go. We'll let them get the Enchantress's Presence into play. And then we're going to Dystopia them. I draw a card. Nice. Port, meaning I can go 1, 2, 3, Dystopia. Combat 3. Set a stop on their upkeep. Pass to you. All right, they concede. that was good enough, opponent says. We try to do that again. It's going to be much harder on the draw. Submit deck. Got him. Yep, that's right. What's up, Grease Monkey? How you doing? I agree. I think that's my only chance. Shit's illegal here. Yep. No cards, no permanents. Only the void. I mean, we don't have any sideboard cards, but we've got double arena. What if we can just draw a lot? They're also mulliganing, so I'll keep on Duress alone. Grabbing lunch. What's for lunch, Grease? For me, it's Chick-fil-A. After the stream, I got to get to editing. Then I'm going to see Rachel. They're mulliganing to 5. That's pretty good for us. Hopefully they don't find an Argothian. Then we're going to see Rachel and grabbing some Chick-fil-A for dinner. I eat on a different schedule than her, so my lunch is her dinner time. Because I don't eat when I first wake up. I had breakfast like an hour ago. Miri's Guile, that's awful. Makes this Duress quite a bit worse, but we're going to cast it. All right, we've got Seal of Cleansing, Sterling Grove. Goodbye, Seal of Cleansing, I think. We kind of need an arena to stick. I've got so many enchantments. No, I think we're actually going to take the Grove, because the Grove can just get another seal, too. All right, pass. I had homemade chicken stir fry with whole grain rice. Buff Daddy Ron out here getting ripped. Wife makes pretty good homemade fried rice. How's it going, dude? Nice. Yeah, I do most of the cooking, though Rachel can make some mean curry. She has a really sick curry recipe she makes sometimes. I'm trying to go 20 pounds down. Yeah, seeing you in person, I think that's going to be tough for you just because you don't have very much to lose. Like, you could stay the shape you are now and be considered a physically fit adult for the rest of your life. But the fact you look like that now, I have nothing but faith that you'll, if you want to lose 20 pounds, you just simply will. All right, passing to me. Sounds like a deal. Untap draw. Black Vise. You are among the worst top decks I could have possibly drawn. I will now play you. Go. I feel like 220 is a really good weight though. No response. Do your thing. I'm 270, and I'd also like 220 is like if I had everything my way, the way I wanted it, I would also really prefer to be about 220. The best I've ever felt at a weight was in college when I was working out regularly, and I was about 230. And I could really feel like, especially in like my lower belly, that I'd really like to lose an additional 10 pounds. But that felt good to me for my like build and height. All right, there is an Argothian Enchantress. We luckily just simply have the Engineered Plague, and the Seal of Cleansing is not going to be enough. You're 270, you don't look it. I am, yeah, I'm pretty lucky. My body is nice to me on how it spreads my weight. Now I look a little thinner. I know they say the camera adds 10 pounds, but the way I frame myself for these videos, I think I actually look better than I look in real life, if I'm being honest. We'll just name Druid. But I'm not super displeased with my body. I feel fairly healthy for my weight, but I could lose like 50 pounds for sure. But yeah, I'm a big guy. I need to get ripped like Ron, but that is a hustle. All right, they're going to beat up on the Plague, meaning they found another Argothian. So now we attack their mana. Okay, that resolves. Unless we just draw Dystopia, then that's pretty good. How tall are you? Is that okay to ask? Yeah, I'm just a hair short of 5'10". So a pretty average like American dude height. Let's go land. And do I Icequake or do I Phyrexian Arena? I wonder. I don't know the last card in their hand. It's probably Duressable. Let's just Duress them. I miss. It's a Sarah Sanctum too. That's good to know. That I might need to save my Icequake for that. So let's go ahead and jam Arena and pass. But yeah, I'm a really normal height. My height's probably the least interesting thing about me. I'm 6'2", maybe a little under now that I'm getting old. Yeah, I remember you were taller than me. You gotta start crushing raw egg shakes. I have the tiger, dude. Yeah, right. You know what I had for breakfast today? I had, I get these net zero carb tortillas by Mission. And I just, I do a 1/4 pound of chorizo, 2 eggs, cilantro, tomato, some hot sauce. And I just make these little mini tacos with chorizo and egg. And the macros on them are pretty good. I use the reduced fat sour cream. And it works pretty good for me. I've put off a good amount of weight over the last half of last year because I was 290 for a little bit. You can actually see it if you go back in the channel. I looked physically bigger than I do now. Okay, do we just double Ponza here? I feel like we do. Let's go Darkrit, Icequake, the Brushland. You know what? If I wait to Rancid Earth, I might be able to get away with triggering the Threshold and killing the Argothian. So maybe it's better to just use my life total as a resource and get this arena out. I'm a carb cutter. Yeah, I also am a believer in cutting carbs. However, I love carbs. So I'm a new fan of chorizo. Chorizo rules, dude. It's so good. It's not very good for you in terms of meat, but the flavor's good enough and it's strong enough that you don't need a ton of chorizo to make a dish that you're using chorizo in taste like chorizo. So that's the hack. Like I use a 1/4 pound in my breakfast, but I also eat breakfast and then wait 7 hours to eat my next meal typically. Because my metabolism isn't super duper quick. My metabolism is not at fault for my overweightness. But like that's all me, baby. But I'm lucky. I like that my metabolism is not super quick. I don't need to be eating all day. When I do eat, I eat big, but I can go a long time without eating. 4 mana. Is this Opal? No, it's Seal. Okay, they're gonna beat up on one of my Phyrexian Arenas for sure. Okay, perfect. So now we just need to try to hit Threshold. Maybe doable. Let's draw a card. We can't. Oh, we don't need to hit Threshold anymore. Now we can just E-Plague. 1, 2, 3. E-Plague, Druid, stop and upkeep, tap down your Sarah Sanctum. I can lock you out of white. Yeah, combat, pass to you. Tap here, boom, F6, go. A little bit of hot sauce on those eggs too. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Hot Ones has a Verde salsa, Las Calientes. That shit slaps. I throw it on everything. Eggs, like melted sandwiches, you know, like one of the ones I do, I get this shaved beef from Kroger. And I'll just do like a chopped cheese and I'll throw some salsa verde in there. It's like pretty good. All right, draw an extra card. There's another arena. Let's play a land. Let's Ponza their forest with the enchantment on it to make the Sarah Sanctum worse. And now we can lock them out of green mana while we continue to draw cards. Yeah, I like that. Port, tap your green. I think we're meant to let the Guile resolve first so they don't have info as to what you're tapping. That's fair. Very good point. I'm just like so used to brain rot doing it so I can F6, but you're absolutely right. Next time we will let the Miri's Guile resolve. Although at this point it doesn't matter what they do, I'm tapping the forest, so this time it's fine. Shroom, you bastard, you're making me hungry. I'm so sorry. I love food so much. Shocker. Fat guy loves food. We're gonna Duress here. I just need to use these as I find them, I think. Wild Growth, Elephant Grass. Elephant Grass is for sure the more annoying of the two cards, but it costs a lot of manas. And if they Wild Growth, we'll simply Rancid Earth. Do we need to Rancid Earth now? I think we can start clocking our opponent. So let's go Mishra's Factory, get in, beep, beep, damage. And I think I'll still lock them out of green rather than allow them and then play another arena. Tap here, boom, F6. I put jalapenos on everything. I love jalapenos, but I can't have like a super high quantity of them. I love the flavor. At a certain threshold, jalapenos will destroy my digestive tract. So I have to be careful. All right, draw a card. We're looking for like Braids now. Swamp. Do we have enough mana to like activate tap and arena? We've got 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we do. 1, 2, 3. Arena. Tap 1. Activate factory. Combat. Send. F6. And then in your upkeep, no green for you, dude. It's not personal. I just hate Enchantress. Go. Now I'm on a clock to my own arena, so I do need to draw some extra clock here. Although I'm still winning as it currently stands. The race, that is. So it's okay. Rishi P on the G. That's right, baby. All right. Yield to all. I'm going to draw some cards. There's a Braids. That's exactly kind of just what we wanted here. So we're actually going to, we're going to let up on the pressure for a second. 1, 2, 3. We're going to Rancid Earth on the green source itself, and then we'll play Braids. Do we actually play Braids off of Dark Rit so we can attack? I think we do. I don't know what else we're doing with Dark Ritual. Braids, boom. You know what? No, I think it's just better to tap. I'll just let them, yeah, they concede. Okay, got it. 1-1. We beat Enchantress. Nice. Love to see it. All right, we found our round 3 opponent, and our hand contains Mono Port aggro with a Edict and an Icequake. I mean, we're Ponzaing. Sorry, I did not mean to leave a stop set in your... Oh no, this does not look as good when we have Glacial Chasm sitting across the table from us. We needed Dark Rit right then. Pass to you. There's a Woody Footy. Just activate Thawing Glaciers now so I can't top deck Wasteland. So they should definitely do that. They should definitely activate their Thawing Glaciers right now. All right, Wasteland off the top. Nope, just a 4th port for sure. All right, so to stop and upkeep, we're going to start the port train. Yep, you get to do that. Luckily, this isn't actually ramp. It's just binding lands. Tap your white source. Continue. More ports than Florida, right? All right, just another forest. Sylvan Library. Okay. We draw a Wasteland. That'll be good later. I think we want to use all of our mana, so I'm pretty comfortable to Icequake. And I'll get their white source. Then we can start double porting after that. We buy in some extra cards, opponent. Just 1. Wasteland, for sure. Bad news about your Wasteland. I have it. More ports. Ooh, Terravor. Good thing I have this Edict. Rishi Porty. Sacky Wacky. Doing it now so they can't like play a treetop and sack that instead. Go. Our hand is all lands. I feel like we've done this to ourselves. We're going to take any extra goodies off that library there, buddy? Just 1. This deck does draw a lot of lands. Another Terravor? All right, let's draw a Smother, I guess. Carp Forest. We know there's... Nope, they actually pitched their Thawing Glaciers. That's not great. Let's go... I'm not even going to Wasteland them. That's going to cause a problem with the Terravor. So we're just going to lock them out of as much mana as we can for the time being. Tap Carpy. Tap Green Source. Yield through the turn. Green... White Wall of Blossoms. Okay, so they're not an Oath deck. Is this like the Oath Parfait deck? Is this the one that plays like Abundance? All right, there's... Okay, that's another land. We're actually going to save some time and concede here. That was a couple more lands than we wanted. Is this a good Black Vise matchup? No, they've got Diamond. Caltrops, no. Powder Keg, maybe. But I think the first thing we need to think about is these Dystopias. Look pretty good. Gloom, they're red-green, so I don't think Gloom is functional. Same with E-Plague. Caltrops, no. Maybe Powder Keg. What's not as good? Rejuvenation Chamber looks pretty poor. Everything else seems more or less fine. I think Contagion kind of sucks. Is Spitting Darkness okay? Not really. Like this? Like that. Let's try it. All right, I get to be on the play. This hand has Dark Rit into Phyrexian Arena, so we'll keep it. That's all I've ever wanted to do in my life. Land, tap, Dark Ritual, Phyrexian Arena, go. You got a turn 1 library to go with my turn 1 arena? Looks like no. All right, untap, draw a card, and draw a card. If my opponent lets me at any point. A second Braids, not what I'm looking for, but I'll just play a Swamp and pass. They play something I can Rancid Earth, I simply will. Will we see the Cowl Rock list at some point with 4 Tuskers? Yeah, I think so. We'll probably play that pretty soon, actually. Seal of Cleansing? For sure. I'd pop this thing now. Oh, so they're playing like Naya? I thought they did have red in their deck. They must be Rith. Rith Teged. Draw a Powder Keg, play a land, tap 1, 2, 3, Rancid Earth. Take out their green source. You can go. Windy? Is it library time? A library would be pretty bad for us. We would like need Braids and need for them to not have STP. Swords to Plowshares. They just pass. We draw. It's Dark Rit. I could Braids here. I think I want to do one more turn of Rancid Earthing. I want to give myself a chance to draw like an extra land to keep the Braids around a little bit longer. Shroom, how do you feel about mutilating the board? It could be doable. We've got a decent amount of non-basics, but it could be like a thing. Another plains for sure. Untap draw, Rancid Earth. Yeah, why not? Why shouldn't I have cake? Rancid Earth your plains, dude. Nice Ponza deck. Got another land for me, dude. Dust Bowl, nice. Wasteland off the top. Icequake, we'll take it. Get the fuck out of here. Try to run you out of lands, then play Braids. There's a little mountain action. Another Ponza piece off the top. Skittering Skirge, interesting. I think here it is time to just like let the first Braids get STP'd. Braids or lightning bolted, whatever their removal of choices. If they have to fetch for plains to swords this, we're actually pretty happy because they don't have green mana. And like we could always draw land and play another Braids. All right, they've got a green source. Sylvan Library time. Call the Herd for sure. I'm not going to reveal Powder Keg till I have until they flash their Call the Herd back. So we'll just play another Braids and pass. I think they're trying to run you out of Braids and then plat lands. Yeah, I'll take 3. That's fine. Treetop for sure. My turn. No response. I'll sacrifice, believe it or not, Mishra's Factory. I'm not trying to get got by Wasteland. All right, combat. Attack for 2. Beep, beep. Here comes my Skittering Skirge. You may go. Please don't pyroclasm me. Skittering Skirge, my beloved. There's only one in the deck. Oh, they swords. Okay. So I've got a 4th Braids. If they simply... Do I just block this? I think so. I want to play this Braid soon anyway. Battlefield Forge into Call the Herd. I like it. Land off the top, please. Diabolic Edict. It's close. We'll just play a Powder Keg. Go. Attackers. I think we'll take the 3 just to blank another Call of the Herd in the hand. Wasteland. I'm really glad I sacked that factory. 1, 2, 3. Terravor for sure. All right, we got an 8/8. So we'll go to my turn. They can't activate their treetop, so I might be forced to make kind of a weird play here. I will not tick up the Powder Keg. Swamp. As much as I'd love to play this Braids, I think I simply must pop my Powder Keg and then Diabolic Edict my opponent and pass and hope they're running out of gas. This Braids actually isn't very good here. My opponent's ahead. They're just getting in with treetop. So we want to draw what? Wasteland? They draw a Wasteland. There's a swamp. Okay, well, we're not going to not cast the Braids. Go. Please don't have swords number 3. Braids triggers. They probably just sacrifice Wasteland. Yep, they do. Get in with Treetop Village. I like it. I will not be blocking. Furnace. First, that doesn't matter. MTGO. All right. Braids does its thing. I sacrifice a swamp. I draw something good. Phyrexian Arena counts as good, I think. Play it. Combat. I think I will ship in for 2. I'm not blocking. They're trampling creatures. Pass to you. Sack something. Probably that Phyrexian Furnace, right? Gween, whatever. Make a village? No. Terravor, my liege. Ray of Revelation. Makes sense. All right, no response. We'll sacrifice a swamp. Take a draw. Rain of Tears. I'll take it. Rain of Tears, I think we just have to hit one of the treetops. They'll activate this treetop in response, so I can't attack with... Oh, the swords. Sure. So yeah, I guess it's pretty lucky. Opponent drew 3 swords and like half their mana base in the top 22 cards of their deck. Can't really do anything about that. Pass the turn. Library for sure. Yeah, they're top decking a little bit too hot. I don't think we can get there. Nope. I'm going to call that. If we played the rest of this game, it would just be 5 minutes of us getting demoralized by that library. 1 and 2. We're going to see if we can salvage a 3-2. This deck did well in an event. Like, there was an event I pulled it off of, so we'll see if we can replicate that success. All right, found our round 4 opponent. We are 1-2. Big sad, but let's see if we can get him on the play. This hand contains Duress, Dark Ritual into Braids, Rancid Earth. I think we're keeping these. They mulligan to 5. Love that. All right, let's go Swamp, tap it, Duress, face. What you got, opponent? Ooh, it's Enchantress again. We'll take the Guile and we will pass. Let's see here. They're playing on the Forest. They're not dropping the Miri's Guile because they want to wait for the Argothian. I respect it. I don't know if it's correct. I think we're just going to port them. Go. Tap that Forest. Another Forest. We draw a Wasteland. That's not doing anything for us. We should, I think, play Swamp and then just Rancid Earth, one of their lands, and then Braids after they Argothian. Rancid Earth, pass to you. Brushland for sure. Argothian, so there's a Miri's Guile and 2 mystery cards. No response, that resolves. They always have the Argothian just because of the way life works. Can we, let's see, we play a land, we Dark Root, we can have 6 mana. And then we can also Rishadan Port them. I think that's a fine use of our Dark Ritual at this point. Dark Rit. We can just Wasteland them too. Yeah, here's my Braids. And then we'll pass to you and see what you sack to the Braids. They sack Brushland, so we'll Rishadan Port the Forest. Do they draw lands? Green source even. Windswept Heath for sure. Miri's, Wild Growth. All right, we're going to sacrifice, I think, the Wasteland. Goodbye, Wasteland. Draw a swamp, play a swamp, tap a swamp, Duress opponent. We want their Miri's Guile. Ooh, what did they do with the Miri's Guile? Oh, they pitched it to my Duress, duh. So we'll take, we don't care about Seal of Cleansing. We care very much about Replenish, though. So we'll take the Replenish, meaning the only cards left in their hand are Seal plus Sarah's. Then we'll go to combat, attack, bring them to 17. And then we'll tap their Wild Growth and their Upkeep. Do I let them pick what they're doing with Braids first? Because I'm always tapping the Forest with the Wild Growth on it, right? Yeah, no matter what they do, I'm doing this. Because I don't think they can sack it. Their hand's powered by Serra's Sanctum. It doesn't tap for a single mana if they sacrifice the land with the Wild Growth on it. Yep. So now they can go Serra's Sanctum into nothing, and then I can just continue to do this for as long as I have lands. There's the Sanctum. 1 white mana doesn't cast a single spell in their deck. We'll sack one of our swamps. No response. Sacky the Swampy. Diabolic Edict is quite good. Combat for 2. And then I think we're just gonna... Do we just Diabolic Edict our opponent? Put them in a real bad spot? I think so. Sack a creature, please. And go. Now you have to sacrifice probably Serra's Sanctum. Yeah, they sack the Sanctum. What do they do here? Just play Seal? Or do they have in Presence? Another Wild Growth for sure. You're just gonna have to sack one of those anyway. I'll go to my turn. We will sack a Swamp. Best top deck's land. There it is. Combat attack for 2. Then we'll let them sack first and we'll tap whatever they don't sack. All right, let the Braids trigger resolve and then tap here and you may go. All right, Braids does its thing. I'll sack a Swamp, draw another Braids, fine. We're gonna sack Braids on our next turn. We need to get something else going. I can't just count on drawing a land every turn, unfortunately, as much as I wish I could. You may go. Sack your last land for me real quick. You floated 2 green. What in God's name does that do? All right, they're doing nothing. So now I think we need to sack our Braids, as much as it sucks. Draw a Keg. We'll take that. Pass turn. All right, they drew a Plains. Cool, cool. All right, we're always going to yield to this. And then we're going to hit yes until it hits 2, because we would like it. Ooh, a Swamp. We would very much like it if our Gothian Enchantress never came into play. Let's port them and pass. All right, they're just passing to us. We will tick that up. Snuff Out will pass. Tap the Plains. They're just like F6ing through their turn. We will not tick up that Keg. We will play this Swamp. It's time for another edition of Braids. This one can deal 8 damage, 9, 10, 11. So if I draw 2 Vises in the sideboard, if I draw 2 copies of land in my... Wait, I've got a Powder Keg too. That's 10 damage. If I draw 1 land in the next 5 cards, they're dead. So I'm just going to start sacrificing all my stuff. All right, you draw a card. Windswept Heath for sure. You got a Swords. I'm going to make you show it to me because I'm just going to sacrifice a Swamp here. Combat, attack for 2. They fetch. Yep, you got the Braids. You found a land, you go. Let's tap that land and pass that turn. All right, they don't find a land. That's good for us. We need to find pressure, though. Icequake isn't pressure, but, like, I'll cast this. Go. This has to be so frustrating for an Enchantress player. There's, like, no permanents in play. There's a Forest. Ayo. Hate to see it. On tap, I will not tick this Powder Keg up. Just keeping it on our Gothian Enchantress numbers. Rejuvenation Chamber does stone cold nothing, so we'll just port them. You draw your land? Good, 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 good. Action. Spinning Darkness, very dead in this matchup. Tap that land. No land? Good, good, good. I will not do a Powder Keg. That's a factory. That's pressure. Let's pass the turn. Beep, boop, boop, yield. Wooded Foothills doesn't cast Swords, so that's good. No actions here. We take a draw. It's Icequake. Pressure or Icequake? Icequake. Go. All right, they're not doing anything. I'm going to try to tap this Wooded Foothills. If they let it get tapped, then it can get Wastelanded. So just fetch and response for sure. You find another land? No, you didn't. You have to go to discard? All right, Powder Keg. No thanks. Skittering Skirge. For real? Can I tap, activate factory, play Skittering Skirge, and tap their land down? No. So I think it's just fine to play Skittering Skirge and pass that turn. Tap that Forest, and they're on a 2-turn clock now. I like it. Ooh, anything but a white source into a Swords. All right, no activation here. Ponza? Nope, just another port. I'll take the risk of my factory getting gotten. Activate it. Combat. Full send. All right, they concede. Amazing. Sideboarding. Same deal. I think the Black Vise is good. I can entertain Powder Keg, but I don't know about that one. Like 3 E-Plagues, Dystopia, maybe Ihsan Shade. I'm actually not that high on Gloom in this matchup. Like 8 cards, maybe Powder Keg's not necessary. Visara, Spinning Darkness, Contagion, Snuff Out, Smother. These cards, Rejuvenation Chamber. I guess on the draw, it's probably just Scourge. Like these cards can just come out for these 8. I like that. Let's dance. All right, what do we got? A tapped black source, so we can't open on Duress, but we simply have the Dystopia in our hand. I think we have to keep this. Brushland into Miris. Miris is the best opener against me. There's the Dystopia. We'll just play this and pass. 2 Dystopia is not bad. We're going to need a second black source to get him into play, though. If they miss on our Gothian, we're going to Duress them. If they play our Gothian, I think we're going to Keg them. But they never, remember chat, they never miss on our Gothian. There's an Icequake. Yeah, let's go factory, tap for a black, Duress the opponent. What you got, dude? Seal, wave, Opalescence. I think we're going to take the Seal because I need this Dystopia to come into play and continue to do stuff. Although, is it more important to break up Opal Wave combo? It's probably more important to break up Opal Wave combo. I'm not a fan of this because the Seal is going to mess me up pretty bad, but we're going to pass. I know I said I was going to Powder Keg, but I think I don't have time. I think I need to like break up their hand, try to get a Dystopia into play. At the very least, they'll sacrifice the Miri's Guile, draw a card off of the Seal, break the Dystopia. I play a second Dystopia. 3 for, of course, they draw presents. They're probably tucking it on the top of the Miri's Guile, though. Plains is gone. They've got Wave Seal. We needed a black source that turn. I mean, very technically, we've got like a turn, but I think I need to tap a land. No, they don't have Opal. I need to play Powder Keg and force them to break a Seal on it. Go. Top deck a Swamp or Writ now. Yeah, it has to be now. If we can get them to seal this Powder Keg and then get a Dystopia into play, that's how we're able to win this game. Outside of that, if we don't top deck one of those two things, we're going to move on to game 3. I'm not going to sit in garbage time versus an Enchantress player. That's not fun content for anybody, except for the Enchantress player. Playing the ugliest assortment of lands I've ever seen. Green, white, Seal of Cleansing, draw 2. Yeah, you enjoying yourself, Ron? All right, they fetch. A second Enchantress, for sure. When you top deck hot, you top deck hot. All right, Powder Keg, no response, I tick it up. All right, never drew second black source, go to game 3. No changes, just submit the deck. All right, I'll be on the play. Yes, please. This hand contains a bunch of Ponza pieces, a Duress, and a Phyrexian Arena. Oh, chat. If we had a Dark Writ, this would be such a Snape. Agreed. Dirty Joe, you think we keep? I'm thinking we mulligan. This hand just gets stone cold, believe in the heart of the cards. I think this hand just gets stone cold, like, got by an Argothian Enchantress, right? How many lands do we play in this deck? 24. We ball. At least we can open on Duress. Meaningful. Land, tap it, Duress, face. Look at 2 Argothian Enchantresses in their hand already. Oh, none. That's lucky. Guile's gotta go. That card's horrifying. Pass turn. Forest into nothing. They're just going to draw it next turn. Yield through turn. All right, we drew the Swamp. Go. Here they go. Plains, Argothian Enchantress. I agree, Wraith. That was a loose keep against Duress. Plains, Argothian. Oh, Sterling Grove. They actually don't have it. Holy shit. All right, Sterling's good. All right, let's start doing this every single turn, starting with Icequake. I think I'm going to beat up on their green sources. Another green source. Wild Growth? All right, that's fine. We're going to beat up on that then. Draw Edict, Rancid Earth, Plains, go. They need green to get going and get infinite white from Sanctum. Yeah, exactly. So normally I would hit the forest, but since there's a Wild Growth on the Plains, it's pretty easy to just hit that. They might even pop Grove looking for Miri's Guile. That's exactly what they did. They got Guile. All right, go, go, go. There's a Guile into a Sanctum for sure. 2 unknowns in hand. Can't stop, won't stop. Rancid Earth, Forest, go. We're hoping to get them Guile locked. We know that they have an STP, so the Braids isn't that good. I'm looking for a turn where I can like get Arena into play. Because this last Rancid Earth can actually take out an Argothian Enchantress. Okay, this is the turn. We go Arena, we pass. Guile does the thing. Is there a land in this pile for my opponent? They find a Woody Footy, so they could play an Argothian here. Just a Wild Growth. Great. All right, I'll draw a couple cards. Swamp seems fine. I don't want to play a Braids into the Swords just yet. I think I'm just really comfortable Rancid Earthing the Forest and then passing the turn. We can also like hope they tap out to do something so we can sneak in Braids. Dystopia, I think, is our best top deck for the rest of the game now. They miss their land drop, which is phenomenal. Icequake, we take those. Icequake, you go. Yep, do that Arena thing. Your Arena. Miri's Arena. Little Plains action, little Swords to Plowshares action. Hate to see it. Let's get some cards going. Dark Ritual Dystopia. 1, 2, 3. Phyrexian Arena. Tap 1. Dark Ritual. Dystopia. Go. I'm gonna yield through this. Yeah, being mean to Enchantress is fine with me, guys. I'm into it. We're gonna start losing a lot of life every turn, though. Oh, they concede. Great. Perfect. We beat Enchantress twice so far. We're 2-2. Let's see if we can 3-2. Alrighty, I'll be on the play. This hand does what? Duress into an attempt on Rancid Earth. It's like fine. We'll keep it, I guess. All right, Swamp, tap it, Duress. You please be good. It was not good. It is goblins. Hate to see it. Let's see. There was a lackey in there, right? Yep, there's the lackey. Bloodstain Mire into lackey. That's going to be bad for us. Yeah, we needed the Duress to have text. We're going to give it a draw step, and then we're not going to give our opponent any information. All right, yeah, no information for you. Concede. All right. We're playing against goblins, so we know that Caltrops is probably going to be good. Keg's fine. E-Plague's good. That's it. And Keg's probably the worst of the cards coming in. What's bad? Duress. Wangy, what's going on, buddy? Rejuvenation Chamber's also a trap, I think. It's only really good against Sly. Maybe a Ponza piece for the Powder Keg's a little bit better. I think on the play Ponzing them still reasonably good. I'll take out in Rain of Tears, just to get the keg in there. Let's go. Yeah, 4 plague. Be on the play, and then we've got double Darkrit Graveborn Muse. Chad, do we keep this? We can go like turn 2 Graveborn Muse. Is there a chance that that's good enough? This isn't good enough, right? Someone please talk me down from this ledge. Oh wait, turn 1 Muse. I just realized double Darkrit does give us a turn 1 Muse. All right, keep. I'm into it. I was like, I have to play land, then I play a land and Darkrit. I can just turn 1 the Muse. This deck is sweet. This deck is really sweet. It's not my play style, but it's someone's play style. Land, tap it, Darkrit, Graveborn Muse. Leroy Jenkins. All right, go. Do whatever you want in your turn. I frankly don't care. Yeah, you got a Fanatic. My turn. All right, let's draw some cards. Tough. Land, combat, attack you. 3 damage, go. Rishadan Port for sure. Combat, love seeing turn 1 Mog from Goblins. Yeah, me too. Anything but a lackey, right? Cycle the Baron more. Snuff Out, cool. My turn. Untap. Draw some cards. You can port me. I do not care. Yeah, it's tapped. Got a couple cards. That's a Braids. But we'll take this turn to Wasteland, your Rishadan Port. Combat. Send this. Go. A little Bloodstained Mire. Is it almost time for our hero, the pile driver? Oh, nothing. Great. All right, untap. Draw some extra cards. Rain of Tears looks good to me. Combat. Although we're just gonna E-Plague, right? Attack for 3. 1, 2, 3. E-Plague. They should have probably sacked that goblin in response. Go. What was that keep from them? I don't know. A goblin into Rishadan Port, and we didn't show them any of our decks, so they still don't know we're a Braids deck. War Chief for sure. Combat for sure. I'll go to 11. Let's snuff that out. My turn. I'll draw an extra card. Land. Combat. Attack. Braids. Take a turn. Sack one of them lands for me. All right, we win. All right, game 3. Nice. You guys were right. I could turn 1 the Graveborn Muse, and that was pretty good. Sick. Tight. This hand does nothing for many turns. We have to mulligan it. This hand, I can eventually Darkrit E-Plague, so we keep this pitching Visara. Done. Our Black Source comes into play tapped, which is just frankly not very good. They fetch Mog Fanatic, no Lackey. I hate it here. Black Source off the top, untapped. This is awful. All right, play Baron more. Hope they don't have Rishadan Port. Let's go. No port. I hate it here. All right, we're back on the draw a what do you call it? Swamp plan. Siege gang. Just another lackey. Bet. Yeah, I don't know why there's a more in this deck. All right, swamp, tap, Darkrit, E-Plague, Goblin, go. Get the hell out of here. Dranalu's Crusade, love that. Undoes the plague for sure. There's an Icequake. I feel like we need to start blowing their lands up. Icequake, I don't know. They're basic. Pass. It was probably supposed to be Port now that I'm thinking about it. Volraths for sure. What do we see? Goblin Matron for sure. You have a black 1/1. Let's take out their other colored source here. What do they get? Ringleader for sure. 1, 2, 3. Icequake, colored source, pass to you. All right. Looks like they're off of mana for the time being. Don't forget to port me, bro. Port my black source for sure. Plague, absolutely. All right, let's stop them in their upkeep and port their port. Go. Ooh, found a red source. Bad news. really bad news. E-Plague. 1, 2, 3. Goblin. Go. Yeah. Concede that game. All right. This is the wrong deck. We got a little 3-2 with come back to me, Braids. Braids. I'm not going to talk about changes. This deck is so far out of my wheelhouse. All I will say is I'll talk about one change. I actually like Black Vise, and it never came up where we had it when our opponent had like a full hand. And I think in this deck, when we're Ponzing, this might even be playable in the main. Like these Rejuvenation Chambers, given I didn't play against Sly, I don't know how much of these are actually helping. Cut a couple Rejuvenation Chambers, get a couple Black Vise in the main, and get the stupid Baron more out of here. Just put a fucking swamp in your deck. Don't be silly. Other than that, this deck seems very sweet. It's not my playstyle, but maybe it's yours, which is why I made this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I will see you next time.